Russia's preoccupation with Ukraine and the West historical context, and NATO expansion. Since the end of the Cold War, NATO has progressively expanded eastwards, incorporating 14 new member states, including countries that were once part of the Warsaw Pact and the Baltic nations formerly within the Soviet Union. This eastward expansion has been a significant source of tension between Russia and the West, as Moscow perceives it as a direct threat to its security and sphere of influence. Perception of betrayal. Russia contends that NATO's expansion represents a betrayal of assurances allegedly given by Western leaders at the start of the 1990s. According to Russian officials, there were implicit promises made that NATO would not extend its reach into Eastern Europe, which the United States and its allies deny. This perceived betrayal has fueled long-standing grievances in Moscow and contributed to a sense of encirclement by hostile forces. Strategic importance of Ukraine. Ukraine's geopolitical significance is paramount in the context of these tensions. Several factors make Ukraine a focal point of Russian strategic interests. 1. Buffer zone. Ukraine serves as a buffer state between Russia and NATO member countries. Its alignment with the West and potential NATO membership would bring NATO's military presence directly to Russia's western border, which Moscow finds unacceptable. 2. Historical and cultural ties. Ukraine and Russia share deep historical, cultural, and economic ties. The concept of Ruski Mir, Russian world, promoted by Putin emphasizes the unity of Russian-speaking peoples, including Ukrainians, Belarusians, and Russians. 3. Security concerns. Control over Ukraine is crucial for Russia's national security strategy. A pro-Western Ukraine is perceived as a potential launchpad for Western military operations against Russia. 4. Economic interests. Ukraine is a significant transit country for Russian gas exports to Europe. Ensuring control or influence over Ukraine is vital for Russia's economic interests and energy security. Current crisis. In recent months, the crisis has escalated, with Russian troops massed near Ukraine's border and NATO forces on standby in case of a potential Russian attack. The reasons for this intensification include: 1. Deterring NATO expansion. By demonstrating its willingness to use military force, Russia aims to deter NATO from further encroaching on its perceived sphere of influence. 2. Reasserting dominance. Putin seeks to reassert Russia's dominance in the post-Soviet space and prevent Ukraine from drifting further towards the West. 3. Domestic politics. The crisis can also serve domestic purposes, rallying nationalist sentiment and consolidating support for the government by portraying Russia as a besieged fortress defending its sovereignty. 4. Negotiating leverage. The military buildup near Ukraine acts as a bargaining chip for Russia in its broader strategic negotiations with the West, compelling the latter to address its security concerns. Conclusion. The ongoing tensions around Ukraine reflect deep-rooted historical grievances, strategic imperatives, and geopolitical rivalries. For Russia, Ukraine represents a critical element in its security architecture and regional influence, making it a central flashpoint in its relations with the West. As NATO continues to expand and assert its presence in Eastern Europe, Russia's actions signal its resolve to protect its interests and prevent further encroachment, even at the risk of escalating conflict.